Okay, so let's just go through this. What is a package? These are collection. A package is just like a collection of functions that somebody written. Now we haven't learned how to even what a function is yet, but we can write our own functions easily. They might not be very useful, but we can definitely write them. And they may include the package may include data and what's called compiled code in a well-defined format. So when you write a package, you have to do it in a certain way so that it's easily usable by R. So that's what they mean by a well-defined format. The directory where packages are stored on your computer is called the library, and you can use this to find out where that library is. So check that right now. Where is your library located? So for mine, I have two library paths like this, and that's because I just created an extra library, a personal library. Then you can use this to see which packages are saved in your library. So let's try that. So you can see which packages are saved in our library. And on my computer I have these. Now one of these you probably don't have, this one here, and maybe this one. But most of the other ones you should have. And if you install new packages, they'll also be listed here. So R comes with a set of standard packages, including base, datasets, utilities, and these other things. They provide a wide range of functions and datasets that are available by default. So there are like datasets that are already on your computer once you install R. So that's kind of nice because you can use them for testing and exploring functions. You can use the data. You don't have to type it in or upload it or whatever. Other packages are available for download and installation. Once installed, they have to be loaded into the session in order to be used. The command search tells you which packages are loaded and ready to use. So that's different than installed on your computer. It's what's loaded into your session, that is what's loaded into the memory. Okay? Next we can talk about installing a package. How do you do it? Now one way to do it is just to do it like this. Here, and you just install packages. So that's one way to do it, but they'll tell us how to do it by command, so let's just check that out. So you use install packages like this, and don't forget the S there, because otherwise it won't work. So they said if you just type install packages with nothing inside the brackets here, without options, brings up a list of the CRAN mirror sites. So let's even try that. I'm not sure if it may not work in mine, but let's try it. You try it too. Install dot packages, and don't forget the S, and let's see. No, with mine it doesn't because I already did it, but with yours it will bring up a list of all the sites, all the mirror sites, that is the sites that are volunteering to store R and all its packages so that people can use them. And there's many all over the world, and you can choose the one that's closest to you. So once you select a site, you select one of the sites, you'll be presented with a list of all the packages. That's what I just saw, the list of all the packages. And then you can just select one. I think you can, I don't know if you can do control and select to select more than one, but you just select it and install it. On the other hand, if you know what package you want to install, you don't have to go through all that. You can just use it as an argument in here. So for example, if you want to install this package, which contains functions for creating enhanced scatter plots, scatter plots are a type of graph, you can download and install the package using this command. So and don't forget this. You have to do that in order to get this to work. You only need to install a package once. Install it means basically download it, and install it. But then don't forget, when you open up your R, it doesn't necessarily it doesn't load it. You might have to load it again. Anyway, you only need to install it once, but like any software, packages are often updated by their authors. Just like, you get a new Windows operating system or whatever, the packages are also updated. Use the command update packages to update any package that you've installed. To see details on your packages, you can use the installed, not install. This is install, and this is installed packages command. It lists the packages you have along with their version numbers, dependencies. So that means when you install a package, sometimes it depends on other packages and to run properly, and so it lists the other packages that it depends on and some other information. Now once you've installed it, then you need to load it. So installing it places it in your library. To use it in an R session, you need to load the package, and you use this command. So if you have a particular one you want to, we saw that this just shows you what's installed, but if you want to load something, you have to put it in here, and this time you don't need the quotes. I don't get it. I don't know exactly when you need it and when you don't, but anyway, this time you don't need it, or you don't use it, the quotes. So if you want to load this package, you use this command. Of course, you must have installed the package before you can load it. You only have to load the package once within a given session. If desired, you can customize your startup environment to automatically load the packages you use most often. So we're going to check that out as well. Customizing your startup is covered in Appendix B. Okay, learning about a package. When you load a package, a new set of functions and data sets become available. So you get all these new functions that somebody else wrote, and maybe some data sets. Small illustrative data sets are provided along with sample code, allowing you to try out the new functionalities. The help system contains a description of each function along with examples and information on each data set included. So you can get help just like before by doing this, but now you can mention the package name, and it will provide some kind of description of the package and an index of the functions and data sets that are included. And you can also use help with any of these functions. In other words, you just put the function there. Before we did this with functions. Now we're doing it with functions as well. Now we can put in functions that we've just installed and loaded by naming them in here. Even you can put data sets in there. Okay, now let's take a look at this. Common mistakes in R programming. So there's lots of common mistakes. There's so many ways to make mistakes and so many ways to get frustrated. But let's look at this. There are some common mistakes made frequently by both beginning and experienced R programmers. If your program generates an error, be sure to check for the following. Using the wrong case. So help, help, help are three different functions, and only the first will work. So these are these are not functions actually, because they're not defined. Forgetting to use quote marks when they're needed. install packages like that works, whereas install packages this generates an error. Forgetting to include the parentheses in a call. So a help, you need the parentheses. You can't just type that. Even if there are no options, you still need the parentheses. Using the backslash in a path name on Windows, R sees the backslash character as an escape character. By the way, what is an escape character? So here's an example of what an escape character does. So this is an escape character. So what does that mean? These are different languages. These are not R. And they have a function called print. And it doesn't need parentheses around it, as you can see, in these languages, for this particular function. Anyway, but it does need, since you're printing text, it does need quotes around it. So we put the quotes around it here and here. But look at this sentence. It says what? Nancy said, "Hello world," to the crowd, right? So look, they put, when you, in English, when you make a sentence like this, you put quotes around what the person said, right? But now look at the print statement has to read this. So what does it look like? It looks like this is the beginning and this is the end of the print. So it's going to get all mixed up and confused and probably say there's an error, right? So I still want to have these quotes in there, and I want to print this, with the quotes in there. So in other words, I want it to say, when it prints, I want it to do that. Of course, I don't want the outside quotes in there, but they won't appear. But I do want the inside quotes to appear. So how do I deal with this? So I have what's called an escape character, which will say, don't read this in the normal way. Don't read this as an end to this quote. Okay, so this is called an escape character, and we put it here also. So it says, don't interpret this in the normal way. Okay, so what is an escape character? In computing and telecommunications, an escape character is a character which invokes an alternative interpretation on subsequent characters in a character sequence. So it invokes an alternative interpretation of this character, right? So this invokes an alternative interpretation of the quotation mark. Okay, so that's called an escape character. So going back to here, using this in a path name on Windows, R sees the backslash character as an escape character. So it doesn't read it like just a delimiter, a normal delimiter. This is an escape character, just like it was in that last example in Wikipedia. So this it's thinking of this as an escape character, which means that it's thinking of, like it's telling us, it's thinking that we're trying to say that interpret this M in some other way, which is not what we're trying to do. And also, this since in that case this is not being treated as a path name, proper path name, right? So it's going to generate an error. So you have to use this kind of slash, or you can do this if you want, because that says escape this, so don't treat this as an escape character. So then maybe it will treat it as a backslash or a path, part of the path name. So you could do it this way also, but it's probably better to do it this way. Using a function, okay, next error. Using a function from a package that's not loaded. So the function order.clusters is contained in this package. If you try to use this function, before loading this package, you'll get an error. The error messages in R can be cryptic, means hard to understand, and that's true. But if you're careful to follow these points, you should avoid seeing many of them. Okay, so maybe this is a good list to remember. Okay, we'll come back to the next one. We'll stop here.